Alrighty folks, coming at you guys today with a state of the game video, a meta discussion of how the game has balanced out following the version 1.7.3 balance patch. Not too much has changed, but just want to keep you guys updated, doing these state of the game videos about a week after each patch just to let you know how they panned out. You can find my 1.7.3 patch notes video. I'll link it in the description, put the thumbnail up here for you guys to see. It pretty much has panned out how we kind of expected it based off of that patch notes, but we'll see as it progresses. Not a lot of games have been played in ranked, so kind of hard to draw win rate and pick rate statistics yet, but tier list coming soon for 1.7.3. We've got 1.8 coming in about 2 more weeks on September the 2nd. So let's get right into it here. I've got some points written down. I've got some gadget gameplay going in the background from a ranked match I had. Didn't exactly pan out for us too great, but I had an okay gadget game. I was trying to do what I could to get us into a winning position, but in the end it really wasn't going to matter because our solo lane Greystone just absolutely threw. I'm putting my camera here over the chat because in this game, because my teammates were just getting so toxic and just telling our Greystone he was trash and that he should never play the game again. We'll talk about that here in a little bit as well, but let's get right into it with the state of the game. How have things panned out since the last balance patch? First off, the biggest and most important change, the removal of Legacy. We've went on about this in the streams, in the patch notes video. We've talked about the removal of Legacy. It's an embarrassment to a meta. You can make what arguments you want. They can make what arguments they want. It's for faster queue times. We know that's not true. It's a real shame to lose Legacy, a more MOBA-centric map, for the return of the hero shooter map that we're on. Basically, we're back on this small map. What do they call it? I don't even know what the name of what they call this map. Is it Monolith? Anyway, we're back on the small map, which means constant rotates, constant team fights. If you're staying in lane past 8 minutes, you're wasting your team's time. You're not putting your team in a winning position. Whichever team fights the most will win the game. Whichever team forces the most team fights, forces the most ganks. If mid rotates 4, 5, 6 times, by the 10-minute mark, that team is more likely to win. It's just how it is. Solo lane needs to show up on every Fangtooth. We're basically playing a hero shooter brawl meta over, at least on Legacy where the balance was the same. At least it was a bigger map and it made it harder to force these constant team fights and rotates, but now that's what we're back to. It's all good. We're doing the best we can with it, but not a big fan of the hero shooter brawl meta. The minion values make it so that there's no reason to not rotate. Rotates take such a short amount of time that you can get around the map so fast. I get it, that's like a fun aspect. That's the way that a meta has been pushing it. But in my opinion, the low minion values and the rotation speed needs to be addressed if we want to keep up in line with how the other MOBAs perform, the other MOBAs that this game should be competing with, not the other hero shooters this game should be competing with. But I'm not going to go into a rant on that. Rest in peace, Legacy. Hopefully it's back at some point, or we just get a new base map. But they've been pushing this map so hard, I kind of doubt that we're going to get a new base map. So anyway, removal of Legacy is my first big point. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the removal of Legacy. Have you been enjoying it back on the main map? Have you been trying out some other games in the meantime? I know we've had Joko's recommended the game finals. I've been playing some Smite and stuff. It's just hard to go back from where we were playing in Legacy back to this map. So anyway, that's all for that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Next big point, we have the 1.0 anniversary, 1 year since 1.0's release. That anniversary event is going on right now. I think it's going on through the 25th or something like that. I'll link the Twitter post that revealed that event, or I'll link their the 1.0 page on their website in the description as well. You can check that out. There's a code year-1 to get some free cores. If you win 5 games during this event, you get some free skins as well. I think it's a good event overall. I think it's a solid celebration and content drop to kind of hold us over. We know that, like I said, September 2nd, we're getting version 1.8 and a new battle pass, so that'll be the next big wave of content. But this is, I think, a good content drop and skin release to hold us over. People have been enjoying it. It's always nice to do some stuff for the community like that. I think there's a LAN event going on as well, and there was also a 36-hour like Twitch marathon put on by the Creators Guild, where they were giving out skins and stuff, and I think it did bring a lot of attention to Pred. I think it panned out pretty well. Unfortunately, though, if you look at the Steam charts, the August player base as of 2024, when 1.0 released, and the August player base as of now, 2025, are about the same. We have not seen significant player growth in the last year that 1.0 has been out. It kind of peaked. It did go down a significant amount, and then it's kind of back up basically to where it was last year. So I would like to see some more advertising. I would like to see better player onboarding. I know MOBAs aren't for everyone. I mean, who cares if MOBAs aren't for everyone? I guess if we push it in the hero shooter direction, right? But still, the lack of player growth in the last year is not very encouraging. The player growth in the last 6 months has been great, but it got to a real low point after the original 1.0 release. 1.4 is really when they kind of balanced everything out and pushed it towards the meta that it is today. So yeah, 1.0 anniversary event. Let me know your thoughts on it. Have you been enjoying it? I think it's a solid little drop for us, a little celebration of the game being out for a year. Seems like just the other day I was making the 1.0 patch notes video, and here we are a year later, still enjoying Pred. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Next up, I was going to go ahead and go into the balance discussion, and save this for the end, but I'll go ahead and throw it in here just so that we don't have to end the video on a downer note. The community is the next thing I really wanted to bring up. The community, man. I know that it's a trait of all MOBAs and all competitive games in general to have toxic players. MOBAs generally get the worst of it, but man, this community, it's rough. The lack of effort to come together as a team and win games is so crazy, in my opinion. You know, I'm always very positive, at least trying to not talk too bad about my teammates or put them down. The constant teammate toxicity has just been rampant. I played a lot of games, a lot of ranked games with JMO the other day on stream. That was Friday's stream. Or no, that was Saturday's stream. Played a bunch of ranked games. I mean, 3 out of 5 ranked games. Now, granted, I wasn't having the best matches, but I was at least, keeping up, doing what I could to try to help us win, not putting out any negativity towards my team. And 3 out of 5 games, I'm getting messages after the game, people tracking me down and messaging me on PlayStation, whatever, saying, "You're trash, you need to only play AI games, you need to uninstall." I mean, like, it's so crazy. These people will go after the game that they didn't even have a good game, or that they significantly lost their lane, and they will just dog out their teammates. "You need to uninstall, get off this game." It's like, man, why is that a thing? Why do people have such an ego in them that requires them to dog out their teammates during or after games? Is just embarrassing, man. You do have to feel bad for these people, because at the end of the day, this is a game that we're playing, and these people that are sending you these messages, these negative or hateful messages during or after games, they have to live with that brain that produced that their entire life. They have to live with that 24/7, having that hatefulness and toxicity inside them. Meanwhile, this is just a game. So you do have to feel bad for them, but at the same time, this kind of stuff is why we have not seen player growth in the last year, like I just mentioned. We're celebrating 1.0 release and the player numbers are the same. Maybe it's because half the time, or in this case 3/5 of the time, you're getting toxic messages after games telling you to uninstall. How is that going to grow the player base? So that, in my opinion, is just absolutely crazy. One thing you really have to keep in mind, or that I would like to remind you of, is that there's no way that you can win a game if your teammates lose. You win or lose with your teammates. So telling your teammates they're trash, telling them to uninstall, dogging them out during the game, rather than trying to work together and come to a win, it's not going to force a situation where you win the game and your teammates lose. It's just not possible. So keep that in mind. You're winning or losing as a team, so just try to be positive about it. You know, rather than saying, hey, Greystone, you're trash. In this game that you're seeing in the background, like I said, didn't matter what we did, the Greystone threw solo lane. Instead of just dogging him out and saying, hey, Greystone, you're trash, you need to uninstall, say, hey, man, can you rotate? You know, the jungler needs to pay attention and say, hey, I'm going to go help you out. Hey, you know, it is what it is. Try to be positive. The community has not been positive, but I'm hopeful that it can turn around. I just know that the nature of the MOBAs and other competitive games means that it is kind of unlikely, but at least do your part. If you're watching this, at least do your part. Don't be the toxic teammate, and don't ag them on if they are the toxic teammate. Just let it go, mute them, block them, whatever. But anyway, wanted to get the community aspect and the toxicity aspect out of the way so we don't have to end this video on that. Let's go into the balance discussion. How have things balanced out since 1.7.3? The general balance, I think, is still very tight. It really has not changed much since 1.7 or even a little bit before. I would still describe it as a burst-heavy, damage-heavy, lifesteal-based meta. Tanks are very viable. Bruisers are very viable. But in reality, the only bruiser value you're getting is if you're also lifestealing to stay alive. Tanks, even if you're full tank built, you can easily get burst down. If you get caught with 1 or 2 CCs in a team fight and everyone targets you, you're probably going to get deleted still, even if you're full tank build. So, very burst, very damage-based meta that we're in. There are some balance issues that I would like to see changed as far as the general overview of balances outside of hero or item balance that I'm talking about. Specifically, tower damage, of course, I would like to see towers do more damage. Especially like early, seeing people tower dive is crazy. Seeing full damage built heroes tower dive is crazy in my opinion. But hey, that's just my opinion. Some things that aren't my opinion and that are definitively need to be fixed are minion AI. Minion AI is still crazy, man. Just the fact that I can be actively auto-attacking a minion, it not have vision on a tower to run to or enemy minions to attack, and it just walk right past me while I'm autoing it, is crazy. Minion AI needs to be tuned in, or at least minion vision, or whatever you want to call it, because stuff like that is just so wild. I know you guys have been in those situations where you're actively auto-attacking a minion. It sees nothing else but you around you, and it just walks right past you. It's like, what are we doing? Where's that minion going? I'm actively attacking it. Anyway, the other definitive thing that needs to be addressed or fixed is the blinks, the flash system, the blinks. How many times do you blink out of something and still die? How many times do you attempt to blink, your blink gets canceled, and it takes your blink cooldown still? The way the blinks are coded as a really fast dash, it just leads to those situations. I know some of it is on the server side, like hit reg, like ordeal, like the netcode hit reg type things, but in reality, having it coded as a really fast dash just does not work. There's situations, I don't think I'll be able to pull up the clip of it, but there's a situation the other day on stream where I blinked out of a Faye ult, you know, last second, split second. It still pulls me into the Faye ult, which, you know, if you blink while Faye's ult is attached to you, you're going to get outside of the Faye ult and it's going to break the tether. I blink, I still get pulled into the Faye ult, still die, and it still takes my blink cooldown. I'm fine if the game hit regs and says that I didn't get the blink off in time, but why does it take my blink cooldown if that's the case? Either I blinked and got out of the Faye ult and survived, or I didn't blink and the Faye ult killed me. So why is it both? Why am I getting pulled back in and it's still taking my blink? The blinks needs to be addressed in some way. I know some people have requested that they move it to a system like Smite, where the blink is on a purchasable relic type item, rather than just something everyone has in their kit. I don't think that they're going to change that at this point in Pred. I think that they're going to stick with this everyone having the blink system. But still, just the coding of blink to be a true teleport would help a lot for sure. Or some sort of blink refund if it gets canceled would be really nice. I know that'll probably be easily abusable, but it just sucks when your blink gets canceled or you get caught through your blink and you still have to wait for your blink cooldown to come back. So that's all I want to discuss for the general balance of things. Let's get into hero balance. Rena is still blatantly overpowered. She's still clearly too strong. The top hero by win rate across all ranks, across all PvP. The #1 win rate hero following her first round of nerfs that we knew were not going to be enough, because that's how they release these heroes. Yuri has received her 3rd round of nerfs, and she's still at least usable. 3 rounds of nerfs since her release, and still like a okay hero, still keeps up, is kind of crazy when you think about how broken she was on release. Overall though, I think most heroes outside of that are pretty balanced. There's a couple strong outliers and a couple weak outliers, but all of them have their niche. The hero balance is about as tight as it could get outside of just like Rena being ridiculous and stuff like that. There have been some mysterious and questionable buffs and nerfs recently. Shinbi, she got buffs that I didn't really think she needed. Now she's top win rate in gold, which is kind of crazy. Weird stuff is happening. Obviously, we're on a small sample size right now since the patch. We've got heroes like Kalari, which didn't receive nerfs or buffs, who's currently like #1 win rate in diamond, but like near bottom win rate in plat, and those ranks are right next to each other. So I don't know. Drongo and Grux have really high win rates in plat now, despite Grux receiving nerfs. Morgesh is the #1 win rate hero in Paragon. Let me repeat, Morgesh. This is a trash hero. This hero should not be #1 win rate in Paragon. For a long time, she's been the bottom win rate hero in Paragon. The fundamentals of this hero are not good. That is a balancing issue that, particularly lifesteal, which we'll talk about, and anti-heal, that should not be happening. That is like embarrassing to me that Morgesh would be the #1 win rate hero in Paragon, because this is a bad hero. This is a fundamentally bad hero. Yuri and Belica being near the bottom win rates in gold. I don't know if that's a skill issue or what, because Yuri and Belica are still crazy. How they get near the bottom win rates in gold, maybe it's just a sample size issue and it'll pan out better. But anyway, weird stuff going on with hero balance. We'll discuss it more when we have a bigger sample size in the hero tier list coming later this week. And so that's all I'm going to discuss. Let me know your thoughts on hero balance in the comments. What heroes do you think are way too strong right now or way too weak? Outside of Rena, because you don't have to even talk about Rena. We know she's blatantly overpowered. It's crazy. Anyway, check out my Rena spreadsheet video, man. I mean, she's not too far from that release date that the video was on, and she's still ridiculously overpowered. Let's dive into item balance. Right now, I think item balance is actually really good. It seems like all items have a decent niche or use case scenario. There are not very many items in this game, so that's something I would like to see, is better item diversity. But it does feel like you can get away with a couple different builds on most heroes in most situations. You can build to your opponents pretty effectively. Outside of lifesteal, lifesteal needs to be addressed. Lifesteal is the biggest problem. Anti-heal needs to be addressed. It is the biggest problem right now. Buff anti-heal, please, please. We've been waiting so long. Anti-heal is so weak right now. It's crazy. You're required to build anti-heal just to get your opponent healers self-sustained to a reasonable level in combat. And even then, it's just not enough to feel impactful. Make anti-heal stack, make multiple anti-heal items stack, and nerf their individual anti-heal percentage. Buff the percentage of anti-heal you get from items to like 55% or something. Add actives off of crest upgrades that can give you even stronger anti-heal if you're willing to sacrifice your crest upgrade for some sort of anti-heal proc, like the silence staff, except maybe for anti-heal. Something like that, man. We need better anti-heal in this game. Or you could slightly tune down all the healing, but I feel like buffing anti-heal is a better solution. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. We've offered tons of different solutions to this rampant anti-heal issue. The fact that Morgesh can be a #1 win rate hero in Paragon should tell you all you need to know. So, finally, let's wrap this up with some things I want to see, some improvements I want to see come to Pred in the future. First and foremost, I would love to see, but I doubt I will, a hero release that isn't just absolutely broken OP. I mean, we wait 9 weeks since Yuri's release to get her to a somewhat balanced state. We've received the first balance patch on Rena 3 weeks after her release, still in the strongest hero in the game state. Why are heroes releasing at such an absurdly overpowered rate, other than to hype them up? I mean, do heroes really need to be this broken on release for people to have hype around them? It doesn't seem like a good balance to me. Ren and Yuri still getting banned in every single one of my ranked games. Why are we releasing heroes that 9-10 weeks after their release are still banned in every single ranked game? It's ridiculous. I get it on the marketing and hype side of things. You don't want to release a new hero that's disappointing. But at the same time, you're claiming that these heroes are getting playtested, and then either you're not listening to the playtesters, or the playtesters are lying to you and you need better playtesters. So, because nobody would have playtested Rena on before release and said this was okay. Like, nope, this does not make the game more fun, having Rena in it. Anyway, that's the number one thing I want to see, is a hero release that isn't super ridiculously broken top win rate hero in the game for 9 weeks straight. Next, this is just a personal opinion, but I would definitely like to see us balance away from the brawler hero shooter meta. You hear me discuss that all the time. The constant rotates really just irk me, man. The fact that the laning phase lasts from the start of the game to the 5-minute mark when the first Fang spawns is kind of disappointing. I'd like to have some more laning phase than just the first 5 minutes. Fight over the first Fang, and then now everybody rotates. At least that's how you win. You don't have to do that. But if the other team does that and you don't, you will lose. You are heavily incentivized to constantly fight and rotate, at least on this map and in the current balance state, and I'm not a big fan of that. As I've already discussed, something else I'd like to see, a fix to the blink coding or the blink system in general. I'm not really one that says they need to follow Smite's lead and put blink on a purchasable relic list. I'm fine with everyone having blink. I just want to fix the blink coding. So like I said, either my blink went off and I survived, or my blink didn't go off and it didn't take the cooldown. Both of those things shouldn't happen at the same time. We've talked about that one enough. Let's move on from it. Improved minion AI/vision. Like I mentioned earlier, minion AI it's in a really poor state. The way that they track you, the way that they chase you, some heroes being able to, or some players being able to manipulate it to where they can damage you and not draw minion AI. I know AoE abilities don't proc minion aggro, but still, just minion AI and vision in general is really weird. The worst offense is when I'm actively auto-attacking a minion and it walks right past me. That type of stuff just should not be happening. It's kind of crazy in my opinion. Anti-heal. Like I mentioned, man, anti-heal needs to be buffed. There has to be some sort of better balance. The heroes that have in-kit healing, Grux, Morgash, Ramp, Chimera, Boris, those type of heroes, when they build healing items and then they build the heal boosting items, it doesn't matter how much anti-heal you build, because anti-heal is not weak enough and the anti-heal procs don't stack, so you can't even build more than one and get value out of it. You are not stopping them from healing. Anti-heal needs to be buffed. I propose make the items like 30%-ish anti-heal on them instead of 45 or whatever it is, and then make them stack. That way you could build 2 if you wanted, or if multiple teammates are proccing it on the same person, their anti-heal is actually reduced a significant amount. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on how anti-heal can be balanced, because we've offered a ton of solutions. Ometa have not addressed it. They've actually buffed Void Helm in the last patch for some reason. Anyway, more item diversity is something else I would like to see. Been playing some Smite recently, and the item diversity in that game just feels really good compared to Pred. Being that we've had it out for 1 year now since the 1.0 release, I think it's about time we get a couple more tank items, a couple more magic pin items, you know. There are some roles, like the assassin items are pretty diverse, but you look and there's like, okay, maybe there's 4 or 5 physical armor or magical armor items that I would even consider building on a tank. There's like, you know, maybe 7 to 8 good mage mid laner items that you actually should be buying every game, and then like 3 or 4 maybe that are niche specific to a certain hero. We could really use some more item diversity by now. I think it's time that we've got it. And then some longer term stuff. that I would like to see for the future of Pred. The larger map or just a slower movement speed. We want, at least I want, to push this in a MOBA direction. I want to be able to play a MOBA, and the size of the map in combination with how fast rotates are and the move speed just does not feel like it. You've got, like I said, till the 5 to 8 minute mark that you should even be playing in lane before you are giving the other team an advantage by playing in lane, which is kind of disappointing to me. They could fix this with a bigger map. Since the 1.4 movement speed changes, this has definitely been a problem, but Legacy really shored it up. Legacy was the solution, but now we got to remove it. And then lastly, like more advertising focused or gameplay, in-game content focused, rather than just constant skin rollouts. I know the skins make the money. I know that's where they're making their money right now. But the fact that this game hasn't had player growth in the last year, or at least the year-on-year mark since the 1.0 anniversary, is really disheartening. I think if we had more in-game quality improvements and more advertising going out for Pred, that it would bring players in and keep them in, rather than just rolling out these skins. And you got to think about it. If you're rolling out these skins to a smaller player base, that's less people to buy the skins. If you just make the game better and grow your player base, and put out more advertising for it, you can grow the player base and then sell those skins to more players. So it's a win-win if you just make the game better. What I mean by this is there's certain quality of life stuff that people mention sometimes in my videos, say, hey man, I want to play the Overwatch meta mode or MOBA mode instead of this because they have better quality of life stuff. I want to play Deadlock because they're a bigger company, they have better quality of life stuff. I'm talking about like a better practice range. Pred's practice range is pretty bad. I know I use it a lot to test stuff for videos and test builds. It's really not a great practice. We could do for a much better practice range, right? I think that's a pretty straightforward one. Better keybind mapping. I've had people complain that you can't switch keybinds to map to certain abilities. I know certain abilities are locked into right click, left click, and stuff like that, and you can't switch them around very easily. So better keybind mapping, hero-specific or ability-specific, would be really great. And then some just normal, like, standard stuff that you're going to see in other MOBAs. Jungle minions having the same skin as lane minions a year after release. I mean, can it be that difficult to just come up with some sort of jungle minion model just so they look different from the lane minions, right? It's kind of weird, in my opinion. And then also just something really basic that you see in pretty much every other MOBA or hero shooter, even Fortnite and stuff like that. Daily or weekly challenges. Give me a weekly challenge for a Quantum Core on the main menu. Give me a daily challenge. Play a certain role, 3 games. Do this much damage. Smite's been doing this for, what, 10 years? They've had daily and weekly challenges. It's about time that Pred got on that train. Give me 3 daily challenges for some Amber or Ion Core or whatever. Give me a weekly challenge for a Quantum Core. It's not too complicated, man. So anyway, that's all I want to discuss. I know this one went pretty long, unfortunately. Had a lot to talk about. You know I like to yap on. Got the Gadget gameplay going on in the background. We will let that play out here. Like I said, wasn't a great game for us. We did our best to keep up and put our team in a good position. But it really didn't matter how this Greystone was playing. He kind of let us get cooked here by this Morgesh. Let me know your thoughts on my proposed improvements. Let me know your thoughts on the hero balance, on the removal of Legacy, on the 1.0 anniversary event that's going on. Are you looking forward to 1.8 and the new hero release as well? Will the hero be blatantly overpowered? You don't have to answer that. We know the answer. And just come out and check us out in the streams, man. We've been having a ton of fun. Me and JMO ran a bunch of ranked the other day. Getting back into ranked a little bit. Trying out some stuff. Come give me some build recommendations or some hero recommendations on stream, and we'll try them out live for you. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Look for the version 1.7.3 hero tier list coming sometime later this week. We'll catch you then. Thanks for stopping by, and keep enjoying Pred, folks. Just keep enjoying Pred.